people understand. Even if we say, when you say the word Adonai, many people say, "Oh, it's a god." No, it's not God. Adonai, it's a plural of the word Adoni. Adonai means my lords, not my Lord. Lords in plural.
Right. Okay.
Which is a plural of Adoni. And instead of translating it to the right word, when they did the translations in from to the Vatican to have the Bible translated, they all mix it up because it was lords. Instead of writing it with S, they wrote it with just Lord at singular.
Yeah.
And there was a big problem, probably you know, about Rambam when he started saying that En lo guf, en lo dmuta guf, from Yahweh Elohim, that he had nobody and no forms and no shape. They threw him out of the religion and they burned all his books.
Oh, really?
Then people start asking questions, so many questions, knowing who are these Elohim, if there is a plural, so there is no single God. So they decided to take back his comments and made him like a big celebrity, which it was taking the headaches out of themselves, you know.
Yeah.
They wanted to avoid all headaches and many questions. And when I was with this rabbi from Israel, he told me, you know, the Torah, you can interpret like that because there are many interpretations, and there is the sod, the secret. I told him, if there is a secret, then you have something to hide.
Yeah.
He told me, no, but nobody can, not many people can understand that, you know, you have to be a big rabbi. I told him, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, so that is a really good segue into one of the questions that I have for you is regarding the diacritics in the why can't I think of the word? The Masoretic text. So
yeah,
previously to the Masoretes, there were simply no vowels and there was just the consonants.
Yeah, the Torah was written all in one word.
Right.
You know, and then they cut it, and then they put the Masoret, which are the vocals, and then it changed many things because when you say, according to the tradition, Al tevashel bedil v'chalevimo, and don't mix the meat with don't mix the meat of the calf with the milk of the mother. Right. And it's not milk. In Hebrew, is the fat. Chelev, not chalav.
Oh, okay.
But so, many Jews, they told, oh, and I told, I have a religious cousin also in Paris, and he was eating. We were eating chicken, and I told him, you can drink milk with the chicken. He said, no, because it's meat. I told him it's not meat. Chicken is not meat.
Right. It's not. It's not beef.
It's a tradition.
Yeah.
So it reminds me a story of someone that had a lady that was always cutting the roast beef on the two sides before cooking it. And the boyfriend one day asked her, "Why are you doing that?" Because she said, "My mother did it always, all the time." One day they were at their mother's to have supper, and she had the roast beef, and nothing was cut. It was full. And the guy asked the mother, "How come you don't cut it? Because your daughter?" "Oh, because I used to cut it because my cook pot was too small, so I had to cut it two sides."
Yeah.
Jewish religion is like that. It's only just traditions.
Yeah.
It was a way of living that became a religion. And then, everything was mixed. And, as you know already, many rabbis, they want to have power over people.
Yeah.
And that was their income, their power, their prestige, their ego, and all that. So,
Right. So tradition becomes doctrine, and doctrine becomes dogma, and dogma becomes you have to do it this way or else.
Yeah. Or else you will have problems. You know what I did when I was about 6, 7? Because they always told me, you need to go to the synagogue on Shabbat because this is the house of God. Where shall I go? Because God lives there. And there were too many synagogues. So I said, well, in what synagogue is he? Oh, no, he's everywhere. Okay. So my father didn't smoke, but I had a friend that his father used to smoke. So I asked him to bring a cigarette and matches on Shabbat to the synagogue. And I went to the toilet. I was about 6, 7, and I light up a cigarette, hoping God will come and tell me, you shouldn't smoke or light fire on Shabbat. But he never came. And then I went to my grandfather's synagogue, and they did the same. So there was no God, either in one or the other. Kids. I wanted to know. I was always curious to know. Like the Ark of Covenant it's an element that it's like a radio.
Yeah.
To communicate.
A radio. Yeah. I talk about that in my book. I don't know if you can see this here.
UFOs in the Bible. Yeah. Have you read the book of the messages given to Raël by the Elohim?
I have skimmed a little bit of it, but I certainly have not read the whole book.
It's very interesting to read it because that's a book that wake up I started my life and my interest with Jewish religion and scripts. I was always observant, but didn't understand Hebrew, as I told you. Right. And when I read the messages that the Elohim gave to Raël on December 13, 1973, that they can be downloaded for free on rael.org, this message revealed everything to me. So at the beginning, I didn't, as a Jew, how can you tell me who is what? Because in our mentality, we know everything and we are the chosen people and so and so and so and so. So I had a clothing company with my wife. Then I stopped for 3 weeks, took the message given to Raël by the Elohim. I took the original Hebrew Bible. I took a dictionary that was in French and Hebrew because I didn't understood Hebrew at that time. I understood, but not literally translating.
Right.
So, and I came to the conclusion that the message the Elohim gave to Raël was confirmed by the Tanakh. And that for me was a revelation to know that the Elohim that lead us out of Egypt, that the Elohim that we are the direct offspring of the sons of Elohim and women of the earth. They are an extraterrestrial civilization with 25,000 years ahead of us, instead of being a God that is everywhere. And the Tanakh proved the opposite, because he's saying Yahweh needs to be on a fast cloud to go to Egypt.
Right.
It says in the Tanakh. So if he's a God and he's everywhere, how does he need a fast cloud to go to Egypt? He should be everywhere.
Yeah.
And the second thing is Yahweh is a man. Yahweh is his name. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is supervising the army. So many things. And the cherry on the sundae that I enjoy very much during all my lectures at the end is that they come from a far land, very far in the skies, Yahweh and his element of fury.
Right.
To terrorize all earth. So where is this God that he needs to come from a far land? How do we call nowadays people that come from a far land in the limit of the skies? Extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
That's the way we call them. And if Yahweh is a God, why does he need elements of fury to come and terrorize earth? If he created everything in a week, he can destroy everything in 1 week. Or if I was saying there is no God, he could have punished me with, I don't know, with fire or a storm or something,
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, I hear you. The way I'm interpreting I've been so I kind of focused because when I started doing this translation work, I was focusing on Genesis, the first few chapters, and somehow some of those words, specific words, led me to Job chapter 38. And I wanted to show you. Here's actually, I'm just share my screen again. So in my what I can figure out about Job 38, it's some stuff that I've never heard before, and as far as I am aware, no one has picked up on any of this. But this is so Job 38 and 39, and so Yahweh arrives, and he's in a hasara, which is we translate it usually a whirlwind, but it shows up in other scriptures, and it appears to be a metallic flying object. And then Yahweh proceeds to tell a story to Job and his friends, and he says, so he refers to the Elohim, but by a bunch of different names. Now, I think these are all subsets of the Elohim. I need to do some more work on that. This is a work in progress as far as what do these words really mean and who are these people. But you can see a lot of these words that end in the im suffix, which now, Leon, you speak fluent Hebrew, so why don't you tell me, what does the I am suffix mean? I think it means it's both plural, but also
I can see it very well.
Yeah, it's also like people, right?
Latayim.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the latayim, and as far as I can figure out, the root word is lata, which is door.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the door people, right?
Yeah.
And then
Maybe
he
they
also
have a special door or a special black hole that they can travel
exactly
through, you know.
right.
And
Some kind of Stargate or something.
Something like that, probably. Listen, because the Elohim are 25,000 years ahead of us.
Right.
So then we cannot even understand or imagine their technology. I mean, when our ancestors were primitive, lack of science and technology, they saw these people coming from space. From them, it was a god.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
if they want to reveal against them, they just can take, I don't know, a teaser and maybe dispatch them down. I don't know what technology they had, you know, and people were afraid of them.
Well, so with your permission, I would like to have a continued email conversation where we dive into some of these specific words.
Sure.
And you can kind of sanity check what I'm getting out of them.
Well, yes. But let's not forget the Hebrew that we talk now. These were words of ancient Hebrew.
Right.
And ancient Hebrew is not the same like we're talking right now. So there are some words that I cannot understand, or maybe I don't understand, but I can find out.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of them are not like not normal words that, you know, people would normally use.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you too about the diacritics in the Masoretic text. So you know, here's a simple example of the first a couple of verses here. This is Genesis 1:1, and then I skipped to Genesis 1:8 because I was looking for specifically about the Mayim and the Shemim. So in Genesis 1,
Mayim, it's all plural.
Yeah, but it's Hashemayim, right?
Hashemayim.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's so big that they put it plural.
Yes, so it's plural for sure because it's got the I am. But most of if you look in Strong's Concordance, which I can actually refer to over here, open it. I want to open the link. What am I doing? let's go in here. So if you look in the Hebrew concordance, you see that they call it the heavens, and they list it under 8064, which is usually translated as Mayim, and in this case Hashamayim. So they're saying that the root word is Mayim. However, I disagree.
And Mayim is water.
Yeah, but right. So water
is Shamayim.
Yeah, Sham. So if you look at this is the important key here is that's the sh sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is ha and then shamim. So it's hashamim. So this is
Shamayim, not Sham.
Yeah. So I'm looking into It's not Mayim at all. It's Shemim. So anyway, those are some of the things that I'm looking into.
But as I told you, they changed the Masortim to say what the word doesn't say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
convenient to make it sound like sky.
You have that. It's convenient for them to change things and make more interpretations and sell books and close you even down in the back that nobody will go out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so just one other question that I have here. Where did this other spreadsheet go? So in this one, let's look at this. This is the Hebrew word for father, and they've got so many different words that mean the same thing. 200, over 200 of them, and it's just different words for father, but it's all based on this same root word, ab or av.
Av is father, Abba.
Yeah. So
Avi is my father.
Right. Okay, so that's the E on the end adds the my.
Avi means my father.
So let's look at this Avi here. Here's a whole bunch of Avi.
Avinu, our fathers.
Tell me what is the difference?
Our fathers, you know that.
Yeah. But tell me what's the difference between whether it has this squiggle or that squiggle. I can barely even see them. And they pronounce it the same here, and they give it the same meaning. So, I always hear experts talking about how the diacritics will change the pronunciation and the meaning, or one or the other, or probably both.
Avi, they have the wrong interpretation here, because Avi is my father, not father, and not the father.
Right. Okay. So all of these should be. This one here. These ones are correct. These ones are correct, and most of these other ones are wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we can see already that there's serious issues here, and then. But even just between these three here, so these three are correct.
Yeah.
Here's 4 of them here
that are correct.
But even here, they're spelt differently. They pronounce the same. They are given the same meaning, and yet they're spelled differently. What's going on here?
Well, it's Avi. It's my father. As simple as that. Avi. That's all.
Yeah. So what I'm proposing,
Avinu it's our fathers.
Okay.
Avinu Malkenu, if you know that.
Yeah.
Avinu, it's our fathers. Malkenu, our lords.
Okay.
Our kings. And they're always referring to the Elohim, because when even the Shema Israel, which is, they tell Shema Israel is written Adonai Eloheinu. It's not written Adonai, it's written Yahweh, first of all. And Yahweh is one, but he's the most important of all the Elohim.
Right.
And his name means He Yehovah V'Haya. He is, he will be, and he was. So because he's eternal. And if I may explain how the Elohim have reached this eternity, is like, they give they live between 700 and 1,000 years, like they give that to Methuselah and to Hanok and others that have
Okay.
lived to that age. Then the
So
Elohim
so
decided
do you think that Methuselah was an Elohim?
he was connected with the Elohim, not an Eloah himself.
Okay.
Eloah is a singular of Elohim.
Okay.
And he was not an Eloah himself. He was a prophet of the Elohim. He was
So
someone that they were talking to, they was corresponding to, like Noah also,
yeah.
and Abraham, and so many of them.
Yeah.
Now, if I may explain, when the Elohim meet with these people and in their planet, they have reached eternal life. And how they reach eternal life is like, their life is between 700 and 1,000 years.
Okay.
Now, between 700 and 1,000 years, they have no disease, they have a young body. After 700 to 1,000, which is the life, sometimes the body gets too old. So what they do, they take a cell of that body, they reproduce the same body by cloning.
Okay.
Now, the same way today we buy a new computer and we take the memory of the old computer and put it into our new, and download it into our new computer, the Elohim have the technology to take the memory and all the souvenirs and everything that this person, all the knowledge, and download it into the new body. So this
Interesting.
body is eternal. And Yahweh, he have already been downloaded 25,000. And that's why he is over 25,000 years old, but with the body of 18 years old.
Okay. So that's not, so they didn't keep the same body the whole time.
No, but I mean, with one cell, they produce the same body, same shape, same size, and same color of eyes, and hair, and whatever.
That's really interesting. The Sumerian mythology talks about the same type of technology
Sure.
with Enki
Anunnaki.
and the Anunnaki.
Anunnaki are the Elohim.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're telling the same story here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Anunnaki had, had maps of the skies of the universe, and a beautiful word in Hebrew is Ein Sof. Ein Sof, which means there is no end. And some people, they tell you, how come, who created if the Elohim created us, who created them? And who created them? And, it's a chain of creation through universe.
Right.
The universe being infinite, Ein Sof, there is no end, which means in Hebrew, no end, Ein Sof, and no Atchala, no beginning. So life was always there because the universe is infinite. Not everybody looks like us, and maybe we don't look like them. We look like the Elohim because they created us to their image and likeness.
Right.
But there are many civilizations that maybe they have 4 legs and 4 eyes, I don't know, and 4 arms, who knows, maybe 8. And
sure,
and
it's like walking into a Star Wars cantina.
This is why the Elohim requested to have like an embassy, which is a third temple that we want to build for them to welcome them. And this is why we did the alliance in our organization, because the alliance is all the people who want to welcome them. They join the alliance, and we have close to 800 or 900,000 people already that are not necessarily Raëlians, that they have joined the alliance because they want to welcome this extraterrestrial civilization. Right. For them, it doesn't mean they were our creators, like we Raëlians believe, but it's okay for them because they believe there is an extraterrestrial civilization that they need to come and give us their scientific heritage. And this is what the Elohim want. But before that, we need to reach a certain age that we can be more pacifist and non-violent.
Yeah.
And with all the balagan that we say in Hebrew, with all the bordello there is nowadays in our planet, any of these idiots can push on the button and we can blow up the planet, not like a Hiroshima bomb, but maybe 4,000 times like the Hiroshima bomb and blow up the whole thing, you know. And we are very close to auto-destruction because of our aggressivity and our bombs.
Yeah. Do you think that already happened on Mars?
Listen, before the Elohim came to planet Earth and created life, probably planet Earth was already, there was already a creation on planet Earth by another civilization. This is why they can find bodies of 1,000 years and 10,000 years or I don't know what. But, you know, we're talking here, we're trying now to understand, and it's very difficult people will accept that already we have
go fix your dog and come back if you need to. Is he okay?
Sorry about that.
No worries.
You heard a noise, so
we're not live or anything, so
no,
not a problem.
So I lost my
well, so you were saying about previous creations and previous civilizations.
Yeah, previous creations, because when the Elohim created us, they told us, they created us, and then they decide what happened at the beginning. It was they started creating life with genetic manipulations of DNA in their planet.
Yeah.
Then those people that they create, or monsters, I don't know what they were, they escape and they kill and hurt many people in their planet. So the government say, you're not doing that here. When you go, you can go elsewhere, find another planet and do whatever you want there, but not here.
Oh, yeah.
So they came to Earth and they managed, because the planet was all covered with water, and apparently they did some explosions or whatever that, you know, we had just one continent.
Yeah, right.
And they start doing laboratories of creation of life. The first one was where the Wailing Wall is and the Al-Aqsa Mosque is.
Oh, okay.
They start creating life there. The second one was where the pyramids are. And the pyramids were a laboratory of creation of life. And that's the main reason why all the pharaohs, after death, they wanted to be buried in the pyramids, because they knew that was a laboratory of creation of life. So if they would have been created there, if they would have been buried there, for them, they would have survived being in a laboratory of creation of life, which the Elohim have left a while before.
Right.
So nothing happened.
How long ago was it when the Elohim came here?
Well, listen, the Elohim came here about 25,000 years ago, and they start creating all lives on Earth. They started by the plants, fishes, animal, and they were doing contests because they had 7 laboratories in different for creating different races and different species.
Okay.
And then after creating all those animals, because they have the technology with designers and artists to design something probably by computer, and then they have another machine that can manipulate genetically and work on it, like, you know, this animal should eat that to survive, and so and so and so and so. Mm-hmm. Like we have flies that are for a purpose, and birds eat the flies, and so and so and so and so. And this was all like, it's an intelligent design.
Yeah.
This is why we call it intelligent design, because it's a creation that was very intelligent. It was designed for a purpose.
Yeah, they were actually designing an entire ecosystem.
Exactly. Then they start creating us 13,000 years ago.
Okay.
So it took them so much time to create all the species of flowers, trees, animals, and so on, until they start creating man. And I believe they have created the monkey before creating man, and maybe they wanted to create man, and then they had monkeys, and then they ameliorate the Banki to become a man, probably. But that's my own conclusion, which
well,
doesn't.
That's what the Aztec mythology says too.
That's my own conclusion, but doesn't involve the message of the Raëlian movement, which is very clear on that. But we can always speculate on that and have our own interpretation. But it's not what is not written in the message. The Elohim message is not the messages, as Raël, their messenger, has always said.
Right. Well, that's why we have to have our own opinions, but not everybody doesn't have all the answers. So
absolutely.
So what about the life that was here, like ancient, really old fossils and stuff like that? So were that a different group of people who had done previous experiments on Earth?
Well, I believe planet Earth was always there,
Mm.
and then they either they were destroyed or they got too close to the sun or something happened that they disappeared, or maybe they were annihilated by another civilization. We never know, because these people were fighters or invaders, or they wanted to colonize another planet, and so and so and so. We never know what happened. The only thing we know is that when the Elohim created man, before the flood, they found out their creation was a flop, because the men were too aggressive, killing each other, hating each other, robbing each other, and then decide, because they have the ones that are in power, which is the group of Yahweh, and there is the one that we call Satan, which is not a devil, is the chief of the opposition. And the chief of the opposition won that vote and decided that this creation was a flop, and then they had to destroy it, because it was not, we were making miserable people that had, it was not a successful creation.
Right.
Then they decided to send bombs or asteroids or whatever, which provoke all the volcanoes on Earth and destroy the planet, and they fragment all the one continent, and we had so many continents after that. But what's interesting is that in the Bible it says, well, Noah took 2 animals of each, and sometimes 7 of each, and so and so and so. If we think today, there is not even one vessel, one ship, or whatever that can contain so many species of animals with their food, with their excrement, and all that.
Yeah.
So what the Elohim did before putting Noah on above Earth, like it says on the space, they took a spaceship, and they took one cell of each animal, which can go into a small box like that, and then they recreated the animals. But it is written in Hebrew. It doesn't say the ark was floating above the water. V'taram hateva me'al haaretz, and the ark went above Earth.
Oh, really? So it was in orbit.
And when you say that to Rabbi, they say, because the force and the strength of the water lifted upon Earth. But there's no such a thing. It was not a vessel of wood that was floating. That's impossible. V'taram hateva me'al haaretz. It means the ark was above Earth.
Yeah. and they talk about the Mayim in that passage as well.
Yeah.
Now, my personal interpretation of the Mayim is that it's not water; it's actually an intelligent species of life, some kind of life form. And
Mayim is water. Mayim is water.
Well, that's what everyone says.
At Bul Mayim, it's a lot of water. It's like a flood.
Okay.
But it could be that it was something else.
Yeah. So I'm gonna email you about that, and we'll dig into that a little bit.
Sure.
I think it's going to be really fun to continue having these conversations.
Sure, anytime.